Let's switch gears now to the border crisis. Several Texas judges and county leaders declaring an invasion at the southern border. They want Governor Abbott and Attorney General Paxton to declare an invasion for the state, which would then trigger the state's constitutional right to self-defense and also take necessary actions to prevent or remove all persons invading Texas. So joining us now, independent journalist Allie Bradley. Allie, thank you so much for being with us. Now, these leaders along the border, they say they are under siege. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick comparing it to Pearl Harbor. You have been embedded in that zone. How would you characterize what's going on there?
I would say it's easily a crisis. Now, as far as an invasion, I even asked former CBP Commissioner, Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, is there a different word than invasion that's more warranted? He said no, because that is what the law is right now. I'm going to tell you, last night while I was driving through the Del Rio sector, which is where most of these counties are involved, that I was driving just down the highway and a gentleman ran right across the roadway in full-on camo and a backpack and jumped over a fence and he was gone. He contributed to the known gotaways that DPS reports regularly. As I was about to set up for my live shot for you guys last night, there was a group of about 75 with a lot of really little children. So when they say it's an invasion and they're doing this in order to get more resources, I do understand the move that they're making right now.
Okay, so Allie, fully explain for us what an actual official invasion declaration would mean.
So right now, as it stands, they do not get any extra privileges, these counties and these county judges and law enforcement officials. What they're trying to do is put pressure on the governor to declare this as an invasion. Him and Attorney General Paxton have to do that. Now, if they do, they will be able to physically remove people. They will be able to physically prevent people from crossing into the U.S. Right now, they cannot do that. You cannot touch a migrant. That is something the Border Patrol is doing, or a deputized National Guard soldier. So right now, they can't turn people away at the border, and that is something that would be allowed if they declared an invasion.
All right, so Allie, let's expand upon that a little bit, because Governor Abbott actually declined to declare this invasion earlier this year. It was because of concerns of legal backlash, legal consequences. So what has changed now, or has anything changed at all?
You know, I did reach out to the governor today. I got a statement from one of his spokespeople saying that all of the options are still on the table. This is not being written off by any stretch of the imagination, as you see part of that statement right here. So what I would say has changed is the sheer number of people. I mean, last year we saw 1.7 million encounters. This year we're already at 1.5 million. We have not seen June numbers. They do expect that to surpass last year's numbers when we get the June numbers in the next coming days that we're going to be seeing. So right now, the sheer numbers, the volume of people is really, really what they're concerned of. But it's not just these people that we're seeing here. These are self-surrenderers, people that want to be apprehended so that they can claim asylum and carry on their journey into the United States prior to their court hearing. What they're really concerned about is the 800,000 plus gotaways since this administration took over. Now, those are people that are seen on cameras or seen in a bailout pursuit and never apprehended. So those are people that aren't vetted. Those are people that are in the interior of the United States and they go unchecked. That is something that these counties are primarily concerned about, because these are not necessarily border counties that are involved right now. They are considered border counties, but they're inland. So they're seeing more pursuits, more bailouts happening in elementary school parking lots. So that's what they're more concerned about in calling this an invasion.
Yeah, certainly concerns down there along the border. All right, independent journalist Allie Bradley, we thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.